Hey, it's Antonio. Welcome back to my channel. Who's ready for some fighting words? So in this video, I want to talk about Kamaru Usman and Canelo Alvarez. So Kamaru Usman is the welterweight champion of the UFC. He's a mixed martial artist at 170 pounds, in which case I will give him all credit he deserves. He's very dominant. He's a very powerful force in his division. He can fight. He's no joke. He is the real deal. However, he's been trying to get a fight with Canelo Alvarez. He's been trying to get a boxing match. And once again, one of the effects of Floyd Mayweather, because it was Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor that started all this foolishness. And now we get this man trying to leave his sport, his organization, to come over to boxing and basically jump the line and get about with Canelo Alvarez. And I'm happy Canelo doesn't have to entertain foolishness. I'm so happy that Canelo has more integrity than to entertain foolishness. You know, people say what they want about Canelo Alvarez, but I think he's a very intelligent individual. I think he's very calculated. I don't think he's an arrogant individual, but I don't think he'll look at something and see that maybe I just need to shut this individual up, or maybe I need to remind people who I am. He's not that type of person. I've always thought he was pretty wise beyond his years, or just, you know, more seasoned than his age. And just with, you know, the whole Kamaru calling him out and consistently calling him out. Now you have his manager calling out Canelo Alvarez, and Canelo's like, who are you? Who are you people? I don't watch your sport. I could care less about what you're doing over there. Not to mention, you can't do anything over here. And what are we going to generate together? We're not going to generate anything together. Canelo Alvarez can make $20 million fighting this wall behind me. You think he needs Kamaru Usman? He doesn't need Kamaru Usman. Listen, fair play to Kamaru Usman. I get it. You want to make a payday. And let's just be honest, this is about a payday. It is not about the best fighting the best. This is not about me testing my skills against you. It's not that. There are no levels of testing your skills against Canelo if you're Kamaru Usman. It is what it is. I'm just telling the truth. There are no testing your skills. Now, if you want to take it to the octagon, maybe then, yeah, we could test your skills or whatever. But to bring it in a boxing ring is suicidal. I get it. You want to make a big payday. By all means, fair play to you. And I want you to make as much money as humanly possible, because every time you step in the ring or the octagon, you could potentially not walk out of the ring or the octagon. So by all means, make as much money as you like. And I hope you make $1 billion every fight. But the reality is, don't be stupid as well. Let's just throw this out there, that let's just say Canelo Alvarez was to entertain Kamaru Usman. Let's just say if he really entertained this and said, you know what, you want to fight? You got it. How about we have a fight? You know, we're going to do a full-on boxing match. We're going to have 12 rounds. Marcus Queensberry, can't get that out, rules. We're going to have ourselves a boxing match. Okay. Now, Kamaru would be like, yeah, we're going to have it, because he knows it's going to generate a lot of money. It's going to generate buzz. Not buzz in the sense of, oh, I wonder what's going to happen. And not that. I just mean a buzz in the sense of you have two different sports coming together. You know, and you're bringing different markets together. Kamaru Usman is African. So there's a lot of Africans who are really into MMA right now, and they are flocking to it. But there's also a lot of Africans who are really flocking to boxing, and there's a lot of people who have been going out and really tapping into that market and teaching them the science behind both sports. So there is an economic push behind that culture in that part of the world. So would it generate a lot of money? Absolutely, it would generate a lot of money. However, like I said, we're going to play with this thought. Let's just say that Canelo actually entertained this. I understand you want to make a lot of money. And granted, this would be the payday of paydays. But you got to take in consideration what you're putting on the line. You are actually putting your health on the line. Canelo's going to piece you up. Make no mistake about that. He's going to piece you up. It's not going to be Floyd fighting Conor McGregor. It's not going to be that. Floyd took it easy on Conor McGregor. Floyd could have made a much different fight with Conor McGregor. Floyd could have been very skillful in that fight. Instead, he stuck his arms up in a high guard and walked him down. We've never seen Floyd do that. He could have been a lot more tactical. He could have been a lot more elusive. Could have used his legs. Could have used his leverage. Could have used a lot of other things to win the fight and win it very easily. But he did that for you and for me. He just did it for the fans. He allowed Conor to hit him when he didn't have to. But it wasn't like Conor was hitting him hard. Well, Canelo Alvarez would not be as generous or nice to Kamaru Usman. He wouldn't be. That's not his nature. That's not how he fights. He would not be. He doesn't naturally have a passive nature. He doesn't have that. If he's in that ring and his gloves are on, he's going to try to hurt something. He's going to try to lay something down. He's going to try to break something. That's who he is. That's what he's going to do, and that's how he fights. He's a very aggressive fighter. And Kamaru Usman against Canelo Alvarez in a ring is scary. It's scary because we could potentially watch somebody, die in the ring. That's why it's scary. Because Canelo would absolutely dismantle him. And I don't mean it in a way like, it's going to be some tactical. He doesn't need to be tactical. If anything, Floyd Mayweather proved with Conor McGregor, it doesn't have to be tactical. It doesn't have to be. You look at Floyd Mayweather when he fought Logan Paul. You're talking about a close to like a 50-pound difference, and Logan still couldn't hurt him. What do you think Canelo Alvarez would do to Kamaru Usman? Yeah, Kamaru's bigger than him by like 10 pounds. What do you think's going to happen? What's going to happen is Kamaru is either going to be knocked off conscious early if he's lucky, or he goes a few rounds, which I don't see him going past 4 or 5 rounds. But let's just say he were to go a few rounds and he was, durable enough to take the punishment, because he would have to take the punishment. Man, I feel sorry for the amount of years that he would be chopping off his life fighting Canelo. Like, literally, he would be chopping years off of his life. It would not be good. It would not be healthy. The only thing that I could equate this to is when Floyd Mayweather fought Arturo Gatti. And Arturo Gatti was literally just sitting there like a duck, just waiting to get shot down. He couldn't return fire. He couldn't take what was coming at him. The punches were coming too fast. The punches were too hard. And they were coming from too many angles. And all he could do was cover up. And then he couldn't even do that fast enough. Floyd was hitting him with 5 and 6 punch combinations at will. And it was embarrassing. Now you take that situation and you put Kamaru Usman in there with Canelo Alvarez. It's the same scenario where he's just getting bombs dropped on him. The only difference is those bombs are much, much, much bigger. Point that I'm saying is we don't need to see any more of these weird fights and these weird fight scenarios. Nobody wants to see it. You stick to your sport. Please leave Canelo alone so that he can stay in his sport. Nobody wants to see this. Canelo has more than enough guys who are screaming and jumping at the opportunity to get their hands on him and get the opportunity to step inside the ring with him. You got your own issues in the UFC. Stick to the UFC. But don't try to call out fights that nobody wants to see. Don't try to... Listen, nobody wants to see a fight that we already know what's going to happen in the end. At least when you have a Canelo Alvarez against a Caleb Plant, there's a possibility. Caleb Plant's never lost a fight. There's a possibility. Caleb Plant has a lot of skill. There's a possibility. Caleb Plant's bigger than Canelo. There's a possibility. Caleb Plant's been doing this since he was a young boy, and he's still undefeated. So there's a possibility. There is no possibility on this green earth. You could get lucky. The only problem is I don't believe in luck. I don't think it exists. And, that's the only thing that I would give you. And I don't feel that exists. So therefore, I don't need to see it. And I'm definitely not going to pay any money to watch it. That's actually just free money. It's literally free money. You're just putting money. At that point, if we were to pay for this fight, if we were to see this fight, if this fight were to get made, I would just say, don't make the fight. And let's all just walk up to Canelo and stick money in his pocket. And, just pay for Kamaru's funeral expenses. Because he's not going to be alive. And he's going to be even richer than he already is. Doesn't make any sense. I don't need to see it. Drop your thoughts down below. Tell me if you need to see it. Tell me if you want to see it. That's basically it. As always, please like, please share, and please subscribe to my channel.